to everyone. Well, welcome. And let's just settle into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And I don't know whether Don's mother had a long-term illness, if it was a sudden passing, but it's always a reminder. And then we have at the other end of the spectrum, Barbara's nephew, William the Conqueror, who's only 4, also facing a life-threatening condition. So, while we wake up every morning and take for granted our health, just get on with our day, we don't really kind of stop and think about impermanence until we get quite seriously sick. Even when we see and read and hear people around us are passing. So it's always a little bit of a good to reflect, and then also, make a strong wish for Don's mum to have a precious human rebirth, or a rebirth in a pure realm. So just settle in. Reflect on your day. We're coming to the end of another week. So this year we're already almost we're halfway through. How did we get here so quickly? Shoulders aligned with the hips. And as much as you can, your ears aligned with your shoulders, and imagine your spine is just this beautiful string, of radiant light. Some space in between those vertebrae, and this string of light is stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head and beyond. Excuse me again. And then bring your awareness to the crown of the head and relax your scalp. Maybe there's some sensation there. Relax the forehead, the nose, the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth, and the back of the head. Back of the neck. Allow your shoulders and shoulder blades to drop down, and relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. And bring to your mind to your breath, and just notice the sensation of the air as you're inhaling and exhaling. And just be aware of sounds in your environment, or whether there are any even. I'm just constantly amazed at how quiet and still and peaceful it is up here. Although remarkably inconvenient, it is definitely worthwhile coming home to this beautiful environment. So whether you have sweet, peaceful noises in your house and outside your home, or whether it's kind of loud and noisy, and try and bring your attention back to your breath. So just allow those sounds to be there. Try not to entertain your mind. Allow your mind to be distracted. And then notice what's arising in your mind, what thoughts are arising in your mind. And then try not to create a story about those thoughts. Try not to allow your mind to just kind of get engaged with the story. And just very gently, put that little pile of thoughts on a nice white fluffy cloud and just let it float away. So they could be planning thoughts or rumination thoughts or, kind of anger or frustration type thoughts. Could be a person irritating you. Just put the whole lot on a cloud. It's really not worthwhile wasting your life. It's if got somebody living in there rent free that you're ruminating over. Maybe there's other things you could think about instead. So, and then now bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones. There are some relationships in our life which are, if you're fortunate enough to have one of these, they're just so precious. And then there's those people we just definitely not precious. And then are strangers, and they can all change place at any time. And they're all equal. They have this, everybody, regardless of how they stand in your mind, are equal. They all wish to be happy. They all wish to be free from suffering, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for Buddhahood. So we think we'll do this practice this evening for all these people and for Gendon's mum and for Will. So we start by thinking there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. So we create negativity with our mind. So equally, we can change that by creating positivity instead. So we're starting here with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions, and having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we might experience. And we know from our present suffering, we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering, and also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, who we see as a doctor, who has the methods that we can use to purify. And we're not looking for Buddha to forgive us. We're not looking for a higher power. We're wanting to use Buddha's methods like medicine almost. Well, not almost, like. So you imagine, you go to your doctor, the doctor becomes a refuge for you when you're sick. You want to know what medicine to take or what you need to do to heal. So it's kind of similar here. We actually are healing ourselves in a way from the trauma that we create with our own delusions. Kind of traumatize ourselves with our delusions and our deluded behavior and get ourselves into trouble all the time. So this is like medicine where we can heal ourselves from this. So imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form, this aspect for your benefit. And he's made of this beautiful radiant white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And he has a beautiful radiant face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And he has a sweet red mouth His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left holds a bell representing wisdom. The right holds a vajra, represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their crossed, represents is enlightenment, infinite wisdom, infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened by this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva. May I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, so this little section on developing compassion is in this section, reliance, because we rely upon other beings to develop compassion. This is where we do our training. So the beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, particularly those who have harmed us, a strong wish for them to be free from suffering, because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've caused us, the pain they've caused us. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful white nectar like coming out of a hose quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body and fills you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you have ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid, and this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutukaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dita Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, and this overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine that all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech lying, talking about people behind their backs, getting other people to agree with us, all our inappropriate speech. All of this purified by this powerful nectar filling you and kind of pouring out of the top of, the top parts of the body, and quite forcefully as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dira Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe. So again, feel so happy that your speech is now completely purified, and imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. And next is the purification of our mind, and Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So just imagine you walk into a room, it's pitch black, and you flick on that switch, and the light that comes instantly dispels the darkness. And it's all happening so automatically, so fast, we never notice. We don't really take much, we take it for granted that we switch that light on and the darkness is dispelled. So imagine the same, the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra and all the darkness of the negativity of your mind. So attachment and depression and neediness and bitterness and grudges, anxiety, jealousy, disappointment, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as we recite the mantra. Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra A Hom Pe Am Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta meba sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe and vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita Duda mebowa sitokaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shiyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita dida mebowa situkaya mebowa sipokaya mebowa anarakta mebowa sawa sidi mimpi yatsa sawa kamasita me sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya vajrasafa dina patita Dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, sitam shiyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan, sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. And vajrasafa samaya manupalaya, vajrasafa dina patita, dida meboa, sitokaya meboa, sipokaya meboa, anarakta meboa, sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Satra Ah Hum Pe. So again, be so delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now, there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the imprints of even the negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So this time imagine Vajrasattva sending light and nectar, and it fills you completely and eradicates even these very subtle imprints of negative energy, habit energies. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a humpe vajrasattva samaya manupalaya vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasidi mimpi yatsa sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam guru hum ha ho bhagavan Sawa tata gata vajramami mutsa vajrabawa mahasamaya satra a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. And now we come to the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in our purification process. And it's a really crucial one, because this is where we decide that we don't want to harm. I mean, you never feel good about harming someone. Maybe people do, but I never do. There's no kind of satisfaction. There's no sense of worth or goodness but we have these habits, and we tend to fall in this kind of habit energy trap kind of thing. So if we sort of make this really strong determination that we're going to refrain from harming, we don't want to harm, and then that's the broad determination, and then we make a determination to work on something every day, a little thing for a small amount of time. Doesn't have to be a huge, great project, just a small thing. And over time, it builds. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind, and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. And so here's our little tiny bit about emptiness. So in emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, place your mind there for a little while. We can think of all phenomena as being empty. They do not exist from their own side. We can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so let's just have our verses, Manjushri's names, the names of Manjushri. Comprised of Vajras, holy, dense, and firm, the newborn sovereign ruler of the world, emerging from the sky, the self-arisen, a massive blaze of knowledge and of insight, illuminating beacon of great light, a lamp of wisdom shining brilliantly, a light for beings, a lantern unto wisdom with energy supreme, most radiant, the Vidya King, the greatest mantra's Lord, the mantra king, achieving noble aims, the great Ushnishta, marvelous Ushnishta, the Lord of space, revealer of all things. Okay, so a strong wish for His Holiness to live long and to be able to continue to teach, and for the swift return of our precious Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, and then for all of your own precious individual teachers. May they live long. Okay. Lots of love, everyone.